Tonight, confusion rocks the front of Akua Donkor's Ghana Freedom Party as two factions within the party sent contradictory letters to the EC over its participation in the 2024 election with barely 30 days to go.
We made a decision that we are not going to contest for this year 2024. I've decided with the net and the family, the family, that after we finish, we set up the 1 week before we can make a decision for next contest.
I'm the General Secretary, and I can tell you that we have successfully filed our nomination form at 107 at EC.
We have details of the two separate letters from factions within the party as the dispute within the party presents major consequences for the arrangement of candidates for the crucial presidential race.
Went without our consent. If General Secretary went for the submission without our national organizer and NEC, he alone went to submit the document.
So what is next for the electoral process? We have exclusive details plus speak to the EC who are currently holding a crunch meeting to take a decision.
We made it.
And Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. Now tonight, confusion has rocked the Ghana Freedom Party over its participation in the 2024 presidential election. It has been 1 week since its founder and flag bearer, Akua Donkor, died, with the EC giving the party 10 days to present a new candidate. Now, with few days for that deadline to expire, factions within the party have presented contradictory letters to the Electoral Commission as to the party's participation in the political process. Only yesterday, the party, through its General Secretary, informed the EC it intends to replace Madam Akua Donkor and has, in the last few hours, indeed presented the running mate, Philip Apiakubi, as its new candidate. But the organizer of the party has also written to the EC, insisting that the party has withdrawn from the presidential race. So there's a lot of work to unpack for you in this raging controversy, which has significant consequences on the arrangement of all parties and candidates going into the election, which is only 32 days away. And my colleague James Aveji, who is with our political desk, joins me in studio with details of all of this here. Now, James, let's start with a letter to the EC signed by the General Secretary. What does it say?
Brett, so this is dated the 4th of November, just yesterday, signed by the General Secretary George Afool, and this is in reference to the letter from the Electoral Commission some 7 days ago, giving the party 10 days to act in accordance with Article 44 of the Constitution, as well as the EC's own regulations, to nominate a candidate or tell the EC the next line of action for the party. Now, it says that, quote, I hereby write to inform the Commission that the party has duly nominated Mr. Philip Apiakubi to replace our late presidential candidate for the 2024 elections. His name is hereby submitted to the Electoral Commission in line with your request in the letter and the reference. The nomination of our new presidential candidate will be filed by the party within the stipulated time frame in accordance with law, and signed by George Afool. And we know that this afternoon the General Secretary, as well as the presidential candidate and some other members of the party, were at the Electoral Commission headquarters to file that nomination, as they have just indicated. 3 days to the expiration of that 10-day
so if you talk about flag bearer or presidential candidate, you are talking about the running mate to Akua Donkor, who is now allegedly been made
to to be the flag bearer.
Okay. Now there's another letter signed by the organizer of the party. What does he also say?
This is signed by Richard Boche and dated today, the 5th of November. And it says that, quote, the National Executive Committee of the Ghana Freedom Party, in consultation with the family of our flag bearer, Madam Akua Donkor, has decided to withdraw from the impending December parliamentary and presidential elections. This decision, irrespective of how difficult it may be, has been reached to posthumously honor the commitment and sacrifices by our late founder and presidential candidate as the only person to send her candidature to the grave. We are hereby this letter formally informing the commission of our intention not to participate in the elections. Any inconveniences this decision may have caused the commission and its calendar for the December 7 election is deeply regretted. We will be ready to participate in any future elections organized by the Electoral Commission. Count on our usual cooperation, and signed by Richard Boche. And it is under the headline "Notice of Withdrawal from the 2024 December 7 elections."
So, as one side is at the AC headquarters filing nomination, another faction of the party says we are withdrawing. So, what is what? But you have been speaking to the party officials who have signed these documents. First, what has the General Secretary been telling you?
Well, the General Secretary believes that this is a decision in favor of the party reached in consultation with every other person, and they have duly communicated that to the EC. We can listen to him.
Tell you that we have successfully filed our nomination form at 107 at EC. So you can check from the EC and verify it with our pieces, 4 pieces that GFP have: Tafo Pankrono, Isamamadu Ajiri, and other 2 constituencies. They were all there. All our 4 pieces were there. So in the picture that is circulating, you can see them.
What about your National Executive Committee members?
I'm the chief executive of the party. It is not true.
And this filing also has the blessings of the family of the late Madam Akua Donkor.
Does the EC deal with family, or that this deals with the party? The EC has wrote to the party that we have 10 days to replace our late founder and flag bearer.
Okay.
And the party has done exactly that. So if the EC wanted to deal with the family, fine.
So that is the General Secretary of the party. Now, there's the organizer who says the party is not contesting, even after he being told that, in fact, the General Secretary and some people have filed. What did he tell you?
Well, Richard Boche believes that whatever filing happened today is null and void as far as the party is concerned, because the National Executive Council as well as the family of Madam Akua Donkor have not reached that decision. We can listen to him make the point.
We made a decision that we are not going to contest for this year 2024 because we lost our founder of the party, and we haven't even taken the decision for even the 1 week observation yet. So we have decided with the net and and the family, the Fagmira family, that after we finish, we set up the 1 week before we can make a decision for next year. That is the proposal we have made for the next year contesting of the election of 2028. This year, we are not going to contest. We wasn't aware with the decision we took and the submission of the presidential nominee to the EC.
If you say you weren't aware, who wasn't aware?
Oh, the NET and the NET and I wasn't aware of the decision they made this morning.
The National Executive Committee wasn't aware of that communication signed by the General Secretary?
Yes, please.
I see. Is there a division in the party?
We haven't finalized our decision yet to contest for this year, but we make a provision that next year, after we finish the funeral, everything, we bury our flag bearer, we finish everything, later we will decide that next year we are going to contest 2028. Without our consent, General Secretary went for the submission without our national organizer and GMEC. He alone went there to submit the document.
Is that the indication that whoever is contesting on the ticket of the GFP shouldn't be recognized?
Yes, it shouldn't be recognized.
So that was the national organizer of the GFP. Looks like the party is divided over whether they want to contest or not. Now, we are aware, as Aveji has told all of us, that the general secretary of the party has indeed presented the running mate to Akua Donkor as the new flag bearer of the party. The organizer says, no, that is not the case. We have written to the EC to withdraw. But really, what is the way forward? We'll be getting the two of them for us to understand what the National Executive Committee of the party makes of this. But let's bring in the other political parties and find out from them what they do make of this raging controversy within or amongst the GFP as a party. Mustafa Gbande is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, and he joins us on the telephone lines now. Mustafa, I'm grateful to you for joining. Now, what do you make of the happening in the GFP? The GFP, plays quite a crucial role in this election, looking at where they are. Whether or not they will contest also has a different consequences on the main election itself. As a Deputy General Secretary of the opposition, largest opposition party, what do you make of what's happening?
Good evening to your cherished listeners. I think that basically the USP is a political party represented and fully filed with the Electoral Commission before the unfortunate demise of its flag bearer. At that time, they had a running mate, in fact, for which is already within the transition. Assuming UFP becomes elected, the running mate becomes the vice president. And so one would say that on the passage of the leader of the party, the running mate becomes an automatic successor of the race. And so UFP General Secretary is the Chief Executive Officer of the party who has a right to administer the party so-called. UFP in the election, for me, deepens also representation. We do know that the NPP have done so much to try to frustrate UFP's re-listing into the contest so that they can succeed in changing numbers. But what
Bande, hold on. I mean, what does the MPP stand to gain if they should influence the GFP not to file?
Because the MPP's whole objective was to get number 8. And that number 8 ran to the NDC. So they have never relented on that effort to ensure that we go into the election without the NDC carrying the number 8. But what they forgot is that no political party have really won an election in Ghana on the basis of numbers. The numbers are immaterial. Who doesn't know Akufado? Who doesn't know Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia? Who doesn't know that he's a failure? Who does not know President John Dramani Mahama? And who does not know the elephant from the umbrella? And so it is MPP behind these kind of gimmicks. But you see, if a general secretary goes to file
Mustafa,
with the consent of the candidate who have consented, willing to file and contest that election, what is the business of a national organizer going to file and say, I have withdrawn? The national organizer doesn't have the locus and capacity to do that.
Mustafa, but these are your readings into what is happening. You are making an allegation against the MPP as though you have evidence to say that they are the ones behind what is happening.
Look, we are two political parties in this race. The MPP printed over $9 million of party t-shirts using Break the 8. They went for balloting and they lost that slot to the NDC. They have never been healed from that bruise. And so they are doing everything possible. But what God will do, the late or unfortunate demise of our mother occurred after we have printed 90% of our ballot papers for the general election. 90%. And so all of these gimmicks to try and say that, oh, one political party should withdraw so that we go and do, but they forgot that we will do reballoting. That is what the MPP unintelligently doesn't know. That if they go on the tangent they are going, we will do reballoting, and they may even go to number 3 or number last. If your whole being in government for 7 years, you have not become so popular to win an election, why do you fight over numbers? The NDC doesn't care over numbers. We know our flag bearer space is more visible. The NDC's umbrella is very visible and marketable. For us, we want multi-party democracy. In fact, every running mate should also be given an opportunity if there is no leader of the party. We cannot have a situation where if the leader is not there, the party is dead. That is not the case. And so the young man you just interviewed, you see the way he was fumbling. He doesn't have capacity. He doesn't have administrative capacity of the party. The general secretary of the party have filed to the Electoral Commission, and that is the law, with the consent of the running mates. What is the locus of the organizer going to Electoral Commission to say, you have withdrawn? That is the handwork of the MPP. We have to say it as it is. Okay. Embarrassingly, the MPP will do everything possible to frustrate an election process. That will be easy. They forgot that if you do this, we are going to have to destroy 90% printed ballot papers. The cost, implication to the country. The MPP is not thinking about this one.
Okay, Mustafa, let me bring in the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, as you have been alleging that they are the ones behind this, to take his response as well. Haruna Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. Haruna, grateful for joining us. Why are you interested in, changing the positions of political parties on the ballot?
Thank you very much. First, foremost, I say good evening to your cherished listeners and my good brother, Bandy. We are not the Electoral Commission of Ghana. We are not supervising the conduct of any elections in Ghana. We are stakeholders and competitors in this particular election. Our interest is to make sure that Dr. Bawumia becomes president. We don't have any interest as to who becomes number what. We are not going to peddle any influence over any political party with respect to any position. When my brother said so, I believe he did not adduce any evidence to support the fact that it is being perpetuated by MPP. I would advise my brother to desist from peddling such falsehood or allegations that is not substantial enough to be able to portray the kind of information he wants to put out. We know that we are going to beat John Mahama convincingly in this election, and we don't need him to place on any other position to be beaten. Even if he's placed on number 1, we will beat him. I want to also refer my brother back that there is no any provision in the CI 127 that says that when this thing happens, this is what is exactly going to happen, that we have to go for a balloting. We are not interested in whatever thing that happened. Our campaign has gotten momentum. We are focusing on the campaign. The flag bearer is on site. The running mate is on site. The General Secretary, the National Chairman is on site. We are doing everything possible within the campaign structure to make sure that we win the election. So we are not interested to get ourselves into this petty discussions and allegation throwing and what have you. Ghanaians need somebody with bold solutions, and that is why we stand for. So we are not very much interested in this particular conversation because they want to peddle whatever that they want to do. But we are very focused, and we know that the law is what we are all going to work through with.
But whether or not GFP has a candidate on the ballot paper, is it of interest to the party? And is it something that you're monitoring?
Whether or not they have a candidate is not something that we are much bothered on. And let me get this particular straight. We have not printed any T-shirt of number 8 over what number that he has mentioned. In fact, we don't even know at the time that we were even starting our Break the 8 mantra how many political parties would contest in the elections. We were not even aware. We are not privy to that. We don't know who who is going to pick. We are still behind the break the 8 mantra. The break the 8 mantra is different from the slot number 8. And we are telling the people of Ghana that we are going to make history to ensure that we will be the first political party to break the 3rd. That is breaking the 8. Because everybody, every individual or political party who presents a candidate has the opportunity to come for the first term and come for the second term. And the second term gives you the 8 years. So we are saying that we are going to cross that particular 8-year cycle. And that still stands because we are going to win the election in breaking the 8.
Haruna, do stay with me, Mustafa. But I mean, hearing that the General Secretary has gone to the Electoral Commission with the running mate to now file to contest, I mean, does it, meet your expectation that, in fact, you had said that you didn't want the position to change? What they've done, does it then, sort of put things in the right way that you wanted it?
Well, for us, every political party should be given fair representation, fair treatment, and a level playing field as far as the election is concerned. And so our joy was to go to the election with our mother, Akua Donkor, alive. Unfortunately, if she has filed and the running mate have gone to file, I think it's in place. It meets our expectation, except that the MPP is denying, here and there, Mohammed is denying the MPP is not interested. They have not printed any T-shirt. That is a lie. That is a big, fat lie.
Okay. Do stay with me. Let me bring in George Affol, who is General Secretary of the GFP. George, grateful for joining. Did you consult your National Executive Committee prior to your filing today?
Good evening, Joy. The UC letter was addressed to General Secretary. So, I alone cannot take the decision. I have to consult. When our mother was alive, she told us who to consult when she is not there. So we have consulted them all, and they have accepted Mr. Philip to be our running mate.
So I wanted to find out from you the level of consultation with your National Executive Committee to arrive at the decision that your running mate should now be your flag bearer.
Our mother told us to consult the executive, which I'm the General Secretary. Our 4 PCs, Isamamadu Ejiri, Tafutan Krono, and 2 others. These are the main people that our mother said we should consult. And when you look at the picture that is going viral, all of them, the 4 PC for Ghana Freedom Party, they were at the EC.
No, okay. So you are saying
elected flag bearer.
You are saying your mother. What does your party constitution say?
For now, Ghana Freedom Party has filed their nomination. Let us stop there, so that next we can discuss the party constitution.
That's fine, but I just want to find out from you, what does your party constitution say in terms of this, in terms of the consultation that should happen? Because you say that your mother said consult ABC. Then I'm asking, the party has a constitution. What does it say? Because you're the General Secretary.
Our mother, the late Akua Donkor, is the founder and the flag bearer of the party. And she told us to consult this one, and this one. And we have done exactly that. So the constitution doesn't come in.
The constitution of your party doesn't come in?
He is the face of the party, and he has access to do A, B, C, D. So we have to go by our mother directive.
How were you elected? Were you appointed by her, or you were elected through the constitution?
I can't go further. What our mother asked us to do, we have done exactly that. So today, at exactly 1:07, we are at the EC and we filed our nomination. And Mr. Philip Api Akubi is our new flag bearer. And a running mate is called Vida Ishon.
Okay, but do you intend going back to the National Executive Committee to consult them on how to move the party forward?
What I can tell you as a general secretary, we have finished filing our nomination and it ends there. We are waiting for the EC response. That's all.
Okay. So what is your strategy? Your strategy, because now you have factions. What strategy do you want to employ to unite the party?
I don't think Liverpool will come out with their strategy when they are going to play Manchester United.
Okay. All right. Grateful to you. Let me wrap up this, conversation with Haruna Mohammed. Haruna, I'm told you have a last point you want to make.
Yes. I want to reiterate my point that Mustafa Bandit doesn't speak for us. And when we say that we have not planned or orchestrated any idea in terms of the numbering, I would want him to be very strict to his point and to ensure that most of the time we must be very truthful and very frank to the public. We get the opportunity to speak because we represent our political parties. We must not use the opportunity to peddle falsehood. We have not, and we don't have any hands. I can see him forcefully making the point and supporting and backing what the General Secretary of the Akua Donkor's party is talking about. I don't know whether they have orchestrated that or they are behind them. And that is why I'm using I don't know. I'm using if clauses, and I'm very, very careful as to what I say. But what I want them to know is that these elections are going to be fought based on who has the best solutions to rule this country. And we must all make sure that we come together to be able to strengthen the democracy of this particular nation. Whether somebody is going out or somebody is coming in, for us, we leave that judgment to the election organizing body, that is the Electoral Commission, to decide.
Right. Okay.
And I think that at this time, we should be mourning together with the Akua Donkor's party, the family, rather than fighting as to who succeeds him when there are legal matters in terms of how the processes are going to be found. We are very, very careful when it comes to human-centered matters. And I think that the passing of Akua Donkor is something all of us must pray with the family and support the party to be able to get the funeral done. And then we get a successful elections.
I'm grateful to you. Haruna Mohammed is Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. You heard earlier Mustafa Gbande, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. And Afol is the General Secretary of the GFP. This has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. Up next is News Night.